Greetings again. Just wanted to come back to you real quickly and talk about Project 3B again. As I was finishing the last video, I recalled that I had a couple of thought I had a couple of samples. I do know I have one strong sample that I kind of wanted to show you and also give you as a good reference point. So as your group is writing it, maybe you're thinking of what does this front matter look like? What does back matter look like? What's the structure? What's the format? What does an A paper look like, right? Something to strive for. So, all right, so I'm going to minimize myself here. And so I'm back on assignments here on our Canvas page. And let's take a look at, so these are under the final recommendation report. So I put Project 3B sample A document. This means this is an A paper that was submitted to my course. I think last semester, no, 2017, so whenever that was, okay? So let's zoom in a little bit. There might be some comments and stuff in here. So here we have title page, the date, page numbers, and then we have, so this is prepared for. This is what I want to kind of talk about. We slowly start to get a little bit more specific into whom we are submitting this to. So this was very specific to the Detroit Police Department, and I believe later on they specify a specific committee within that department to whom they are going to submit this to. And here we have who it's prepared by, the groups, the members in the group, this particular course. And now we have table of contents, right? So we have the executive summary, the introduction. They did research methods, results and discussion, conclusions, recommendations. They have their references in their appendix, right? So this up here, as you'll recall, if you look back at the assignment sheet or the assignment description, we'll notice that it tells us what the front matter is: table of contents, list of illustrations, and the executive summary. Then we get to the introduction here, right? Now we're talking about the body of the paper, right? This is at 8 to 12 pages of very specific content that we're going to look at from here on out. Then references and appendices and stuff like that, interviews that we had in this particular case, right? This was pre-COVID, right? Three years ago, I guess now. So your appendix might look a little different. So let's say that you did a survey, right? And you sent it out. Your survey, you want to include that survey in your appendix, or what would, depending on how many you had, your appendices, right? Or you could put out the results, publish those results out, right? Or download them maybe in a particular graph, or maybe a particular illustration. The thing about your appendix or any appendices that you refer to in your paper, keep in mind too, you can't just have an appendix without referring to it. So you need to make sure that they are working in conjunction with each other. Here they have a list of illustrations that they did. Now we have the executive summary. Introduction. And notice that these headings are centered. Okay. And this is an APA format. You can tell here we have a citation. See how there's citations throughout, right? This group is constantly, here's the introduction, here's what we're talking about, here's where we're getting that information from. We're not just pulling these, that this is an actual problem that exists, right? So this is talking about the heroin epidemic, which accounts for approximately 25% of these deaths, right? That had to have come from somewhere, right? It's not we don't just pull these numbers. We can, but we need to support those numbers, right? We have a tendency sometimes to say things. In this type of report, we really want to have that strong evidence. And then notice, too, that as we change, right, so the introduction is done. And notice that the next section, research methods, in this particular case, this is just a part of findings, another way of kind of saying findings. And so it starts on its own page, and it's centered like this, right, bold. Then notice the subheadings, bold italics. Here were the tasks, what they did. Here were the results, right? So findings can be methods. Here's as we got this stuff. Here were the results of the stuff, right? And I like how they kept them task oriented, right? So someone could really follow through and say, okay, task one for their methods or to get to their findings, they did X, Y, and Z or whatever, right? Then in results, so it helps the audience kind of really follow through. I really appreciated how strongly they did that. And then you'll notice here they've included a graph, right? Or an illustration, if you will, right? So it's figure 1. And notice right down in here, referencing figure 1, right? And it's close by, right, where you can see it and use it, and it's easy easy on your audience to follow through and to follow with you, as you're talking about things and making your case, right? Supporting your argument, right? So here's figure 2, right? They reference as seen in figure 2 here. So I've got several of those. Now this here I realize this is a longer version, right? This is the 16 to 23 pager, right? So now we got conclusions. And we come with the recommendations, all right? So now we're going to talk about right here, right? Here's the Detroit Police Department in conjunction. They had this other sub-community, right, that was in conjunction with that. And still using good mixture, bringing in their references, right, using their sources. Then we have their references pages, and then we have their appendix, right, or appendices, right. So that's just a quick sample. I wanted to review that with you. You can download it, access it right there for you. So hope that you find that helpful. But of course, as always, as you all know, please do not hesitate to reach out to me if there's anything else more than I can do for Project 3B. Keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye, everybody. Stay safe. Stay healthy.